episode for a long time for you guys. This is going to be a really, I think, interesting, exciting, it could be very chaotic, but fun episode to really get going. We have the UTS Bouldering Society, previous and present presidents in this room. It's like, it's too much for me right now to really comprehend this, how exciting this moment for is. But before we really dive in and introduce everyone, I have a question to start off with everyone. Feel free, anyone can jump in. It's the question is, what's the most chaotic moment at any point during your time as president? I'm going to leave the floor to you guys.
The first O-Day.
First O-Day.
The first.
Yeah, I would agree.
That was insane. Do you want me to elaborate?
Well, please. Was there a particular point on O-Day where you're like, shit, this is too much?
Yeah, I think it was probably. I think we all came into O-Day thinking like, ha ha ha, we're a new club. We don't even have shirts. We don't feel very legitimate, but we're gonna be there. It's gonna be great. And there was Dance Society next to us, and they were doing all these like flash mobs and stuff. And we had a cool little pinch grip challenge, and Jared made a cool little drawing that said "pinch to win."
Handwritten sign
with highlighters, and we were like, yeah, we'll just hang out. It'll be a fun day. And we were bombarded with people, and they were asking questions, and there were queues of people, and I would never have imagined that. And we decided to plan our welcome night for that Friday. I think the other day was on the Wednesday. It was like a ridiculous amount of people that came, and so I think that week was ridiculous. Yeah,
and we were just winging it too. Like I remember I had class on that day, that first O day, so I was ducking in and out, and then I just remember coming back from my first class and just seeing this queue of people. I'm like, wait, hang on, is this for us? So yeah, honestly, incredible day, and that really got the ball rolling for us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Mika and Justin?
I think the first thing that comes to mind would be the first Rock Jam, where we did. Well, this was like, I think we've grown a lot as a club since the first O Day. But yeah, organizing a comp for just UTS Boulder Soc. And it's like, we hadn't done that before. It's like, where are we going to get the funds? And it was like 6 months of planning and like trying to figure out where to get the money, trying to figure out how to get sponsors. And I think we were just really blessed that we had so many friends of the club, and just so many people that we knew that were like talented, already doing their own merch, like, I don't know, their own stuff. And then also having like that relationship with Nomad that was built over like the 2-3 years. And then, I don't know, it was like chaos, but then it happened, and it happened so well, and it turned out like one of the best days of me being president of Boulder Soc. And yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's my president. Yeah.
What have you, Justin?
Segue into Rock Jam, but we actually just did that. If we have any more time to do that, I'll probably dive into later. But yeah, I think building off what Mika and the team did last year, a lot of the planning in the first half of the event was, I think we planned it out very well. The last few days building up to Rock Jam was just running back and forth to the gym for like grading and stuff, and then out, and then like asking partners, okay, like are we all done? Is this confirmed? Just double checking. And then on the day, we didn't even expect how big of a turnout it was, because we were expecting maybe 120 people, and then 170 people rocked up, and it was a lot to manage. We definitely, I think we did really, really well. But also second half of the event, because we did like a whole Olympic style bouldering finals as well. That was chaos to deal with, but it turned out well. And the whole point was that nobody, the members didn't notice, only we knew, and everybody was happy. But yeah, that was definitely chaotic.
Yeah. Oh, awesome, man. Well, for those who are just joining in for the first time on the Midweek Motivation Podcast, I've got no idea what this is. I'm Cameron. I am the 2022 president and co-founder of UTS Bouldering Society. And today, for whoever's finding out about the Bouldering Society for the first time, this is the club that's really changed a lot throughout my university, and also just like how I think about business, about career, connecting with people, community, all that, which is like a huge part of my brand and values. But to quickly dive into the floor, introduce everyone. I'm going to go in screen order here. So to my left, I've got Tobias, second time returning onto the Midweek Motion podcast. How are you, Toby?
Yeah, I'm good, Cam. Thanks for having me again.
Of course. 2023 president, co-founder as well.
Co-president and co-founder.
Co-president, of course. Correct. My mistake.
Yeah, so Cam and I started. Cam actually approached me at the end of 2021 about starting the Bouldering Society. He came to me because I think he said you know a lot more about climbing than I. No, he was very keen. But yeah, he said that I could kind of bring the climbing knowledge side of things, which was very cool. And yeah, so I started it with Cam, and then the next year, when Cam graduated, I was co-president with Jared, who is to my upper right. And yeah, the club also definitely turned my life upside down. I was not expecting to be an exec, let alone a president, while at uni. I kind of very, very much changed my perspective of uni, about clubs, about leadership, communication. The amount of lessons learned would be too long to count. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks again for returning to the podcast. Next to my screen order, we got Justin.
Oh, hello. Yes. I'm currently the president of the UTS Bouldering Society. So that's president for 2025. I was secretary in 2024. What else? I literally joined the Bouldering Society. First thing I did when I came to Australia was I went to orientation day, rocked up to the bouldering stall, saw Toby, and he was like, "Hey, you know what? You want to join our society?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's
a very Toby thing, isn't it?"
Yeah, it was a very Toby thing. I mean, I feel like it's the whole reason why I felt really welcomed, and I was just a pretty dedicated member throughout that entire year, and then was going to try run for social media, was convinced to do secretary instead, did secretary, and then now I am here as president, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, Jared, you're up next.
Yeah, thanks, Cam. Thanks for having me on. Pleasure to be here. I was the 2022 treasurer, and very similar story to Toby, actually. Cam approached me with what I thought at the time was a pretty outlandish idea of creating a club, and honestly, best decision I ever made whilst I was at uni. Really kind of enhanced that uni experience for me. And then I was fortunate enough to, in 2023, be co-president with Toby. And there again, just an awesome leadership experience. And, it's great. Friends for life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mika, you're the final guest that's on my screen.
Amazing. Thanks for having me on. I was the 2024 president, and I want to make this claim. I was the first female president. Let's go.
Let's go.
And it was really good. Joined Boulder Sock because, well, it was quite funny actually. It was like, this was my first. No, this was post-COVID, and then I came back to Sydney because I'm not from here. So I came, and then one day I was just sitting at home, about to make dinner, and I was like, I wonder if this uni has a Boulder Sock. And then I looked it up. You guys had an Instagram, and I messaged actually Gen Z at the time, and he was like, "Oh, dude, we're meeting up in like 20 minutes at UTS, and we're about to go for a climb because we used to take PT together to gyms." And I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go!" And I just packed my stuff, went, and then I met. I think it was Daryl was the first person I spoke to. And then I met Toby and then Ted and Cam. And then I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then we all took PT together, which was like such a uni thing to do. But yeah, love the club, love the people, and yeah, been in Boulder Sock ever since until, well, I mean, I still am in Boulder Sock, even though uni's done. And yeah, no regrets.
Amazing. Well, each of you has really brought your own skill set and experience to the club, and I think it's really shown on the progression. Like, we started this club literally from nothing, just an idea, no previous experience running a club, and we just did what was working, tried things, and just connected with people, which is ultimately what a university club is about, right? It's about bringing people together. And then you can see the progression over the years, just how much you're growing, even though like externally that looks really great, but internally you're building such a really solid foundation where people can actually come together, make friends, even if it's only for a couple of years in their university journey, and then they carry on with their own life, or even keep on with their friendships, which is really cool to see, as well as improving their bouldering skills. So the reason why I want to bring this today, I have this podcast, because bouldering is obviously a very niche thing, and a lot of my audience probably won't particularly know much about bouldering. But what I want to go is a little bit deeper into leadership, community, and just like how all those skills that you learned from your journey has really changed the way you think, how you believe, and just connect with people in general. So to take off the floor from here, by the way, if anyone's listening to the live stream, feel free to put any questions down, and we can do a Q&A at the end if we've got some time. So leadership-wise, I guess, how has your leadership changed? Like your belief of it coming into president and then finishing, or just in your case, like where you are now. Happy for anyone just take the floor from here. What has been your experience with the definition of leadership from when you started and where you currently are now?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in, Cam. I think you touched on it earlier. It's about building genuine connection with people. I feel as though that's where I've really grown as a leader, not only through the club, but just in my personal and professional life, is building genuine connection with people, finding common ground, and being able to see the best in them as well. I feel like, going through the Bouldering Society, through my time at uni, I felt that I was really able to kind of bring the best out in people, not only the leadership team, but also our members as well. So I think when we talk about leadership, I think it really starts with that connection that you forge with other people, and they could be like-minded. What you've got to understand is that bouldering draws a very diverse crowd. I'm sure everyone in this chat can agree. So being able to connect with all sorts of people from very vast walks of life. So I think that's, for me, kind of where my leadership journey kind of started.
Fantastic. Anyone else want to have their take on the floor of this one?
For me, it was interesting because in the first year of Boulder Sock, I was secretary while Cameron was president. So because we were a small team, even though, Cam was obviously, the big man, he was making the calls, he was guiding the club. There was definitely a lot more sort of higher decisions that were sort of shared amongst the club as well, because we were only a team of 5. So there was definitely a lot more input there. And I remember being secretary and helping Cam and Jared design the events in the early days. I kind of felt a bit like the fun uncle that got to, throw ideas out there, but was never really accountable for the decisions in the end, because ultimately Cam was the face of the club that year. So I think being president myself the next year really taught me what it means to be accountable for decisions that you make or decisions that you don't make. And definitely taught me a lot about communication. There's communication with the members, because they're what keep the club going. There's communication with your team, because we're just a social club. We don't make any money. We don't pay salaries or anything. So we're all volunteers. So if you don't have, kind of, not to sound a bit grim, but if you don't have money to motivate people, there's got to be something else, or to connect people. You need to, and as president, you need to build that. And that was a really interesting experience as well. So yeah, communication, accountability. That was 2 things that changed dramatically through being an exec and a president.
That's a really solid point, because, yeah, like you said, everyone that's in your team, they're coming to volunteer their own time outside their own degree, outside their own social commitments and work commitments, right? So it's so hard to keep. I found it really challenging to have the team continuing to be motivated across the journey. And I did my best what I could. I always tried to prioritize the team before even the club itself, make sure they're okay and everything, and with their workload. But yeah, at the end of the day, like when in most team environments these days, so this is going to be talking about jobs and career, right? Money is going to be the biggest factor. So I'm just really curious to know maybe what is a couple of things that you have taken away from this club that you could be working. You don't have to mean necessarily managing a team, but also working with a team really on how you can work together cohesively without running into too much conflict where money could be a factor. I wonder if anyone has any thoughts on kind of that topic there.
That for now, or is that a point you want to talk about later?
Yeah, now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think someone else can go actually. Sorry,
Wait, what was the point again? Sorry.
It's more like because so we're working as a team, right? And when no one is getting any financial reward from this, it's just purely from passion, right? And Bouldering Club was not anyone's number one priority. So going into teamwork now in your jobs, maybe it's with your degree, like how do you manage say conflict or just like working together without having some financial setback in there? I guess any sort of thoughts on that?
I think one of the most important things, at least in my experience as an exec or like president or whatever, was setting goals that everyone was on board with. So like, for example, like we wanted to buy pads for the club to do more outdoor bouldering. And it's like everyone's so psyched about climbing indoors, and it's like going outdoors is such a far dream, you know what I mean? But everybody was on board, like everybody on the exec team, members as well were also on board, and like setting those goals and like working towards achieving them, and just reminding yourself and your teammates that, hey guys, this is what we want to work towards, and it's not just for us, it's for the wider community, it's for the people that we care about, it's for the community that we built. It's like way more rewarding. I know it's cheesy, but it's way more rewarding than anything financial, in my opinion. Like just having people go outdoors together with all the pads that we purchased as a club was like a really like next level experience. And yeah, I just think like setting goals and achieving those goals that you think would be impossible is like next level.
Yeah, that's a really great response. I love the fact that you're trying to get everyone on board with a common goal, and it's completely normal to not have everyone maybe really appreciate the idea, but obviously like if with the majority, trying to get people passionate about like what you're trying to do with the club, and when you show that, like regardless if your team members are maybe fully onboarded, they can see that you're really putting your effort into it and they're inspired by that. So yeah, that's really cool, Mika, that you said that. What is like maybe a decision that you made during your president time where like you tried it out and it didn't actually go to plan? What would be some examples you've had where you wanted to test something and unfortunately it didn't work, but then maybe what has shown up as a result from that?
Was this for me or for everyone?
Everyone.
It's a great question. I'm trying to think back to.
Yeah. This is the one.
It was a while ago.
Stuck on as well. Yeah.
Oh, you go.
Because every decision was.
Go ahead, Justin. I can think about a bit more externally is like this year at least. I don't know. It's more so like an events decision, trying to include more people, like trying to connect with other societies that like were in bouldering pretty much, like doing collabs and stuff. But what I've discovered is it's I feel like we share very different mindsets, and a lot of times it becomes since our growth has become so big, it's become sort of like people like other societies using our Boulder Stock space to try to get members, but also not really putting in the effort to do so. So and that becomes like it becomes like I guess it's a hard question of like how do I like not expand the club outside Boulder, but how do I like introduce bouldering to like with other societies, but also like be careful about like who I'm choosing to collaborate, like who we're choosing to collaborate with stuff in order like to make it a good event for the members and stuff like that. I don't know if I guess that's
No, absolutely. Like there's hundreds of clubs at the university, let alone if you're going to expand into other universities, other bouldering clubs. Like there's just almost endless amounts of opportunity you could be pursuing, and you have to really choose the time wisely, like within your own weekly schedule, your own team and club schedule. Like it's impossible to take on everything, so you have to really narrow down on what's going to be the best decision for the community, really.
Yeah, and building onto that is like because we like all of us like I'm sure you guys like obviously understand this, but it's like when you're balancing so many things, and especially being an especially like maybe work, uni, and then add on to exec, it's like if you make the wrong decision, it's not just gonna like mess up your schedule, it's gonna mess up everyone else's schedule. So it's like definitely an interesting thing to really be careful, but like also taking the risk to be like, okay, maybe we should try this out.
Yeah, that's right. So it certainly is a risk, and I think the prospect of collaboration, especially in the early days, when it was myself, Toby, and Cam, it was exciting, right? And people were reaching out to us for opportunities for collaboration. But I think it was the decision was more about doing a collaboration that was mutually beneficial. I remember a lot of the ones in the early days, we were doing a lot of the groundwork for it and really trying to lay the foundation. It got to a point where we put a lot of the work in, and then you kind of step back and think, okay, what's actually in it for us? It's kind of like we were taking another club on for a ride.
Yeah.
So I think a decision like that, you've really got to weigh up and really be able to pick and choose collaborations that are actually going to provide value for both parties involved. So I think that was something that we kind of struggled with early days, just purely because of the excitement of it all. Oh, mad, this other club wants to collaborate with us. But really being able to analyze it and think, okay, where's the value for both of us?
Yeah. No, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that applies to so much, because even in your own personal life, right? I'm sure all of you guys are still just as busy as what you were before in your own life. How do you say no to decisions, right? Like you have a lot of things that excite you, but then what's actually really important, right? If you're saying yes to everything when your calendar is really full and you're prioritizing some different things, something's got to give away, right? So saying no eventually to those potential opportunities. But what I really want to talk about now, actually, because I was away from the club when Rock Jam began. So for those who don't know, before that we used to do a collaboration with other bouldering societies across Sydney, and we're doing a bouldering competition called Boulder Bash. But last year, Mika and Justin and the rest of the team started with Rock Jam. Tell me more about this, because you guys just had your second round this year, and it looked absolutely like crazy, like having your own bouldering competition just for the club.
It was kind of crazy, because how it started, I think it was just me, Toby, Justin, and Max, who was the treasurer last year, just like bouncing ideas off of each other, and taking a lot of inspiration from Boulder Bash, which is the inter-uni one. And we're like, oh, wouldn't it be crazy if we did our own our own comp, like at Nomad. Like, wouldn't it be sick? Just UTS Boulder Sock. Oh, and then we could do this. We could do like mini games, and we could have finals, and then we'd have like all these massive sponsors, and then we were just talking about it, and then we were like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? And then we started thinking about it when I think this was like 2023 when we had the chat. And then I think towards the end of the year when we were doing budget and like financing, we realized that actually, ooh, a dog just came up to me and bonked his head. Sorry. Sorry. Where was I? Oh yeah, just like thinking that was like completely impossible. But then we're like, oh wait, actually the club is kind of growing. We can apply for grants with Activate UTS. We can actually try and make this happen. And then when we started getting more members, more partners, more sponsors, we were like, wait, this is actually not a very far away dream. This is like 100% possible. So then obviously the planning started, and then it's quite funny to think that before we had all these sponsors and all these like industry friends, you're like, oh, we're just a uni club. We're just uni kids. Nobody would want to help us. But a lot of things can come, a lot of good things can come if you just ask. Like, it's really not that scary. All you have to do is just be like, hey, we have this dream and we're so keen to make it happen. Would you like to be part of it? And most of the times the answer is yes. And like, you really just have to ask. And I find that like one of the most amazing things and one of the biggest things I've learned as president.
Just gotta put your pride to the side and just ask.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Like you really don't realize like how much you have around you until you just ask, basically. Yeah.
Who was the first? Oh, sorry, Justin.
I'm not sure if the live chat is working. As in, I'm not able. I'm on the live stream right now. I don't think I'm able to type in anything.
Actually, I think the live stream is
trying to bring that up.
Yeah, I think the live stream is actually connected to Riverside as well, so I can see that M has gone some biceps there.
Message.
Yeah, but it's just like I think people on YouTube can't type anything because I can't type anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I think most people are going to join if they want to join. They'll probably join through YouTube because.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, just bring that up.
That's all good. Yeah, Justin, tell me like your I guess your journey trying to replicate and add your own little spin to Rock Jam.
Yes. So definitely tried to build off like all the hard work that Mika and the team, which I was part of, did last year. Honestly, Mika did a lot of the heavy lifting. I would say it's like basically huge props to her. But yes, try to build off of that. Definitely continuing that. The first year of Rock Jam, like what can we do for a second year? What's bigger and better? And the only thing that really I know this was one of the things they wanted to do last year that they couldn't do was do a like Olympic style finals. And Nomad being the amazing people there are, shout out to Nomad. They offered us the amazing deal to do both the Pump Fest and like Pump Fest. For you guys don't know, it's like you climb within a certain amount of time, you do as many boulders, and they count your top couple as for points. And then they did that, and also finals. So it was a full day, like 14-hour event, and same as last year. It was about 5 months of work, basically just running around asking sponsors. This time around, tried to reach out to a lot of the people that just like bouldering related businesses. Obviously Activate once again was sponsored us for that as well, but a lot of different like brands that are like we're just friends with, like Sticky B Tapes and the Boring, who worked with our marketing team to make this amazing shirt. Yes, with all the sponsors at the bottom. But yeah, it was honestly super fun, obviously stressful process of setting everything up, because it's also like working with the whole team to plan, like with events, to plan the entire event out like smoothly so that we don't have any if even like allocating time for hiccups and stuff, all the marketing to sort out with like our marketing team and the Bori, and also just like all the just getting like emailing as many people as like as many of the brands as possible, seeing who reaches out. Oh yes, speaking of this, actually one of the big hiccups we made was we did promise a specific bouldering brand, like, oh hey, you guys can probably do like merch on the day, but then there was a bit of conflict of interest between two brands, and one of them had to drop out, and I was like, oh man, I can't believe we should have asked that like way before. But everything at the end of the day, it all wrapped up like quite well. No, there's no bad feelings with that. And as I said before, it was like 100. We like blew over our goal, like 170 people. We forgot to take a group picture, but like the crowd was amazing during finals. The best part was people who never got the chance to get into finals, like got to experience that as well. And it's like the fact that we're able to create an opportunity for them to try that. And it was just, I think it was just amazing. And even people who weren't competing got a chance to enjoy like all the mini games that we had like running out through the day. It was just good vibes. Yeah. So
170 people.
Too.
Yeah. As you can tell, I'm very happy about it. I like our team. Like after that, I was like, you guys, please take a week break, because like at least a week, because we definitely need it. We put a lot of effort into this, and like take a breather, and then we'll hop back into it. But yeah, it's sure sick. We have our own
unbelievable guys. Well.
This is our bouldering tape. Rock jam bouldering.
That's
tape.
So cool. No, hats off to you guys. That's incredible. You've all done so well, and your own roles and what you've brought into the club, and the fact that the club still keeps growing every year when you've had a change of leadership shows that something is going right. But that's, I guess, something that probably we all had this idea of when we were stepping down and going into the AGM that happens at the end of every year, and when you're passing on. It was always something in the back of your mind, like, oh, is it going to be the same? Like, are they going to be the right person, right? And of course, it's a democratic vote. But I'd love to know, like, for you guys, like, obviously there's the club's vision, which is kind of like just more of a general one that we should all be following along, but each one of us will have our own like little vision of like how we're gonna add our own little touch to the club. What is something that you, like, any of you guys I guess brought in as your own vision for the club, and did you follow through with that, or were you a bit short, or did that change over time based on other priorities for the club? I guess for you guys, like Rock Jam was something like you wanted to really add in, and I mean that was a big success for 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For us in the early days, it was more about consistency, and I think like the founders and the initial crop of execs did a great job of pushing out fortnightly casual climbs, which is great because we're able to provide value for our members every fortnight. And compared to a lot of societies at the club, at the university, that would kind of be sporadic with their events. Maybe they'd do one quarterly or yearly even. I think for us to consistently provide value to members provided a point of difference for us, especially in those early days. We kept the crowds coming in, and some of them were bigger than others. But I think just being able to just be consistent in those early days, that was something that I wanted to provide. I mean, I was the money man back in those days. So anything that would kind of bump up our bottom line, just keep money trickling into the club, besides the grants from Activate and all the rest of it. But yeah, consistency was a value that I really wanted to push in those early days. And I think we laid a really strong foundation. And just hearing Justin and Mika talk about Rock Jam and being able to orchestrate such huge events, I think it comes down to the foundations that were laid right from day one. so that you know that whoever's going to take on the club the next year, you've left it in good hands, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
I think about like the whole like community building, like what Jared said, like making sure that the next gen of execs are like on the same page and want exactly the same thing for the members. I think that's like one of the most important things, because I shouldn't compare, but I think UTS Boulder Sock execs have consistently been really, really good people. Like, I don't think anyone has ever felt excluded. Well, I mean, this is like an echo chamber of mine, so I could be wrong, but I've never heard of like, well, there was one incident, but we don't talk about that. Anyway.
Put in the chat if you ever felt
No,
excluded.
no.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
They
Well,
can't even
we
chat,
handled it.
so
We
you don't
handled
feel
it well. I think we handled that one well. Like that one very specific case of exclusion, but that one was an anomaly. But I would say that most people that came to UTS Boulder Sock have felt the need or the want to keep coming back and stay, which is why we have so many people like at AGMs. You get like 30 people putting up their hands for like 9 roles as execs. You get so many people coming back every single time for a climb. And then at the end of the year, you see the bowl and there's just like everyone is there. And you're like, whoa, you look so different, not in chalky climbing clothes. And it's like, I don't know, like building that, like, I don't want to use the word extroverts because not everyone's an extrovert, but like building that team of people who keep drawing people in. I think like we're like socially attractive people with like really big energy,
We're
and
just
everyone's
attractive
like,
people.
I want some of that, and then they rope their friends in and their friends rope their friends in, and
Mm.
it's like so crazy to see this community grow. And I don't think Justin's mentioned this yet. Do you want to tell them about the sports club numbers?
Oh
Ooh.
yes, we should have asked.
I'm very curious.
So, from what I know from you guys started off at the end of your first year was 270 something, I think.
Sounds about
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think it was 240 first year.
Yes. And then
240.
And then the year next was like 570 something. And then with Mika's year, it was 800.
Fuck.
Right now, we are at a solid 1,230.
Yo.
This year as well. We're not even at the end of the year, and
Wow.
that's
3 months
insane.
away. It was insane to actually be. I mean, we're such a small, and I think we are now the biggest sport club in UTS.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, big schemer.
We kicked their butts.
Long time coming.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yes,
it's so amazing that. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say like the growing club, like the exponentially growing amount of members is just like such a great testament to how much work we as leaders and the team puts in to make this. Well, like Jared said, this consistency of this welcoming, friendly community, making bouldering so accessible to uni students, and it's just like so amazing how. Now, at least, I mean, I think everyone can say your closest friends are probably people you've met from UTS Boulder Sock.
That's true.
And that is so crazy.
Yep.
Kind of
Yeah.
I mean,
back to what
testament
Cam-
here.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. Well, Cam was saying that, with our success through the years, we must be doing something right. And I think he is on the money there, because the one really cool thing about Boulder Sock is that even though the leadership has changed and the events have changed and all that, the core idea of the club has remained the same. And Mika just said before, like, we put out a vibe of inclusivity and just psych for climbing, for connecting with people, and people are just drawn to that. And I remember back when Cam, Jared, and I were putting together the application to give to Activate to start the club, and we had to put in a mission statement. And what we came up with verbatim was, we want to create a community of people, of students that are connected through keenness to go climbing, to go bouldering. So it's kind of like you can be friends with anybody if you have some kind of shared interest. So what if we just use bouldering as the shared interest and then get people to connect through that? And and it's just been the same thing every year. I mean, they're bigger events and all that kind of stuff, but I think our club is so authentic. We haven't really changed our core approach, which is to just be cool people and bring more people into our community, because that's what we all are passionate about. I think that's so awesome.
Yeah, like it's really nice to see, like, one of the things to tell the execs is like we should be emulating like people who, we want to include everybody into the club and also like create a space where people can enjoy climbing and enjoy climbing with your friends and stuff like that. I mean, that's how I felt when I joined, and that's the reason why I'm here today. But yeah, it's really one thing that's really like honestly super cute to see is like so yeah, we have our weekly Wednesday casual climbs, and even during like the holidays and stuff, rocked up to the gym and saw, oh, what are you guys doing here? And like some regular members, and then they're like, yeah, we actually like meet up. We still meet up on Wednesdays ourselves just to keep the vibes going, because like we just and it's so nice to see that we were like UTS Bouldering Society was able to create that space for them to build little communities, like little groups within themselves. Yeah, I think that's a win on us. So
yeah, definitely. I remember like in our second semester of our first year, and we were struggling to keep up with the scale. Like we'll get 30 people at some of the events. We're like, oh my god, we're so stressed out because we don't know how to handle this many people.
I think that was an
I can't even
like week one.
Yeah, the first event at Blockhouse.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you can just the Square Pay isn't working. Just transfer us money and then we'll do the such a disaster.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. I just can't even fathom like how you guys are doing that now. Just like because I guess one of the cons to growing, right, is to make sure that you're still having that same personal connection to everyone, because you have someone who it could be like they're literally the first ever university event they're going to, maybe first year at university, and they rock up, and if they see like lots of people there, and if they're not feeling maybe included, like that could be a real I guess downside to having such a big club. But so how would you manage that now, Justin and Megan, and how do you like make sure that everyone, I mean, obviously it's gonna be impossible to really I guess have the same connection to every single person, but to make sure, say, a first timer coming to your events now, how do you manage that?
I think one of the things, the like big things is like I do tell it like our exec team, like, all right, like let's make sure everybody, if anybody doesn't feel included, we'll make sure to try our best to do that. But since now we don't do Square Pay and everything, try to enforce check-ins, we have people like sitting at the front and stuff like that, so that whenever they walk in, someone new walks in, they'll be like, hey, and some people won't walk up there, they're just probably too nervous, and we'll ask them like, you part of UTS? And they'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm part of UTS. And then just ask them like, hey, like what your level's at, it's your first event, do you need any help, just have like a quick chat, get to know them. And sometimes personally I would also, if I get a couple of new members, especially maybe like 2 weeks ago at Alexandria, everybody was new for some reason. And it's just taking the time to take them around and like actually, bring them around stuff, if they need help, if it's the first time climbing, also just showing them ropes and everything, just having a chat. I think that helps a lot with making people feel included. It's a bit nerve-wracking for myself because sometimes it's like also how you're completely right. How do we manage this many people? And it's unfortunate that like some people once in a while it might slip our gaze, and they might not feel included. But it's just to make sure like we can at least get as many people as possible can feel included. And like I feel like trying my best to do that and also extend a helping hand.
Yeah, amazing.
I just wanted. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you go, Mika.
I just wanted to add to that and talk about like the more logistical side that not a lot of people like really think about, especially when you go to a club that's already been like established. I think one of the things that, like one of the best systems that we set up or started doing that, well, I mean, it's all trial and error, right? Like, you know, like people started rocking up, so you can't literally talk to everyone and be with them the whole time. So one of the things that we started doing for one of the events was we put names on stickers and put them on people's shirts. So then you know that they're there for the event, and then you know that, oh, this is your name. And like, if you wrote your name down, you surely would want someone to talk to you, right? So then that was like one of the best ways for us to like start like socializing and like being part of like a bigger group. Like, you know, if you went alone and then you just had your little name tag, you'd be like, oh, I really don't know who's here for the event and who isn't. And then when you see like a group of people with the name tag, you're like, oh, hey, could I climb with you guys? Or like even members that are super social are like, hey, you're like here from UTS Boulder Soccer event, like come join us. Or like if they're working on the same climb, they start talking about beta, they start talking about what they do at uni, and that's how like friend groups start growing. And then you go out to lunch and you have food together. And I think I'm pretty sure it's still happening right now because the last event I went to, somebody gave me a purple wristband, which is UTS Boulder colors. And that's literally how you tell like somebody else is there for the same reason as you. And like, it's like all these like tiny little details help so much.
Another thing
Yeah,
we've been
and
doing is
it's
also,
simple. Yeah. Sorry, you go, Justin.
Okay. Just the other thing that we've been doing is like trying to do maybe food once in a while for casual climbs also, because when they all gather around to get the food, you know, when you're having a bite, eventually someone's gonna start chatting with each other and stuff like that. And once you get them all to that, like one small space where you're distributing food. But yes, please continue.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's just sometimes there's the simple things that really make a huge difference in doing that. So yeah, the name tag, I mean, absolutely great idea you guys implemented.
That's a great idea. Why didn't we think of that?
I don't know.
So many things, isn't it? Like,
we were thinking about.
Wristbands.
This is why we're no longer in the club, Jared.
We did stamps, remember?
We're
In like
outdated.
2023? We did
Yeah,
like the activate stamps.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember
Right.
it was
Oh
an
my God.
absolute shit fight just trying to get the stamps. So I think that's why we didn't do wristbands, because it's like no, never ask them for anything again.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Well, I guess going in now, like Justin, you're the only one that's left as the president, but you're, I guess I should probably assume that you're stepping down after this year. What is something that all of you guys, Jared, you can kick us off. What is something that you've like taken from the club? And this can be, you know, from any of your exec positions or working with the club. What is something that you've taken away that you now apply in your own life? And it could be a skill. It could be some belief that you carry along. Yeah, Jared, I'd love for you to kick us off there.
yeah, thanks, Cam. I think I was second to go after you. Back end of 2023, I stepped down. I think taking lessons away from bouldering and applying them to my life, I would say the soft skills are probably so your ability to connect with people, but also being detail oriented. I feel like when we were working in such a small team, you had to really make sure that all your I's were dotted and your T's were crossed. And I think that's just something that I've organically taken away and applied into my life. Just being detail oriented and making sure that I'm able to provide value for other people, and whether that be through genuine connection or leadership. Just lots of little lessons, lots of little soft skills that I've kind of taken away from bouldering. Yeah, honestly, life-changing experience.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ideas that you can bring forth to the table, right? And it's impossible to try them all, but the ones that you really want to actually focus on, it's having a detailed plan, right? how do you plan for, like, say, a one-off event or a special event when you're expecting 50 people? Like, it needs to be detailed, right? So yeah, that applies to everything else, I think, that we take on as a project. Toby, what's something that you've taken away?
I think I could kind of sum up what I learned from being president, or my biggest learnings, into two very kind of overused phrases. The first one is, a problem shared is a problem halved. I think like delegation of tasks is huge. And at least for me, I kind of discovered through being president that when being president exposed some kind of more negative patterns that I was that I just had, that I was applying to that leadership position. And one of them was, if I was getting stressed with lots of things, I just kind of try and do them all, which is really counterintuitive. And you have this amazing team, you've got to let them do their thing, because I think that's another way to unite people as well, which what like Jared and what you yourself, Cam, were talking about before, is, and Mika as well. If you don't give people something to unite over, then no one knows what's going on. Like it's very difficult to be motivated. And the other thing was, this one is, don't put off to tomorrow what can be done today. So that one's like, if something can get done, just do it, because even if you put it off to tomorrow, you may then not do it tomorrow, or another thing might come up. And yeah, so I think there are definitely, particularly, when things got quite stressful, sometimes it just all seems like too much, and you look at the list of things to do and you're just like, nah, no way. But actually, the best thing to do is to just do something, because generally once you do something, it puts everything into perspective and it's all quite doable. So yeah, like trusting the team and just checking things off, just doing stuff a little bit every day instead of sort of just doing it all in one big thing. It's actually Mika who, when I was president with Jared, Mika actually called me one day and sort of called me out on that stuff, and that was one of the best phone calls I ever received. So thank you, Mika.
Good on you, Mika.
Oh, yeah.
Mika, president before she was even president. She was looking out for the club.
Looking out for a friend.
Yeah. So that's why you were an excellent choice, Mika. What's something you've taken away?
I think, I would say as funny as it may sound, I also made the same mistakes as every other president or any other leader would, just taking on too much and then being afraid to ask for help, because you're like, the weight of the club is on my shoulders, everyone's looking to me. And it's like, members look to execs look to me, and I'm like, oh no, like I don't have the answers. And it's sometimes asking people outside of the club. I would say, like, I have a really good relationship with my boss, Joshua, and he's the manager of a retail store, and shit gets stressful. So I oftentimes talk to him, and he'll give me like advice, and he'll listen to me. And then I was like, you know what? All I needed is just to rant, and I just needed someone to listen. So then I put that to work in Boulder Sock as well. And a lot of the times, people are very open to telling you what's going on in their lives and why certain things, like, like a post is not being done, like some work's not being done. Like, it's because they don't know that you need help. And like, there's no like two-way talking, there's no two-way listening. So then there's like, literally like, you're not saying anything, I'm not saying anything, so I won't listen, you won't listen. But sometimes just open up that conversation. Like, even asking someone how they are, sometimes it's the thing that's at the top of their head. They're like, oh, fuck, I'm so stressed out about this. Or like, I'm so stressed out about like, well, for me, at least, like an example I can think of was like, when I was president, I was doing my postgrad and I was getting ready to do research for my thesis. And I'm like, I'm actually so stressed out. Like, I need to interview people for like outdoor bouldering experience. And they're like, dude, you can like literally just talk to me. Like, set up a time and then we can have a chat. You can interview me. You have an hour of my time. Like, a lot of the times it's just asking, and then being open to listening to what other people have to say as well. Like, the answers are you just need to be open to listen and open to talk about your problems to get those answers back.
Yes, definitely. That's something I think I always continue to struggle with, is asking for help. And but it makes such a big difference, right, overall. And at the end of the day, I think the problem that you have in your head, it's probably not as bad like when you say it out loud, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, it
To-
is.
definitely.
To add to that too, I think one of the reasons that we were so successful is because we were all friends before we were colleagues. That makes sense. So we were able to build that trust with each other amongst the leadership group, so that no problem was too big a problem. As Toby said, problem shared is problem halved. So even if it was a problem with one of us individually, I think we were able to kind of build each other up just by being there for each other.
100%.
Yeah, that's right. And like you said, we were friends before that, and we don't want to ruin the friendship if something is really bugging us, like it, So talking it out is a huge one. Justin.
I definitely everything you guys said, like asking for for the viewers, I guess. One thing I did before taking on the role was literally ask all our former presidents like what kind of lesson I should take to heart, and how do I be a good president for the club. And I think I've applied it relatively well. Sometimes you're right, it is hard to ask for help. It is hard to be like, I really I want to handle all of this, because this is let's just call it our child, right? This Boulder Soccer is our child, and we
we're all
really
adopting
want to
it.
take good care of it. But it's like
We're all just terrible foster parents.
After 1 year, we're done.
It's been a year now.
It's been a year now. Get out of the house. Yeah, you can have him. No, but it's everyone's baby, right? All the execs who applied and like hopped onto the role. They also want to make the club good too. Sometimes they have problems managing time and everything. And I think it's a very human experience. Everybody has issues. Sometimes like, everything's so packed, internship, work, or beauty and everything. But yeah, it's like as long as we communicate that with one another in the team, be like, hey, I know I do a good job in this part, but I need someone else to handle it right now because I'm stressed with something else. And it also makes everybody else feel better because like everyone also understands that, you're also struggling. We're struggling. At least we're struggling together, and we're working it out together. Yeah. So I guess also the other takeaway is, and this is kind of bouldering related, there's always a way, I guess. There's always some beta to figure out. Yeah, there's always just like there's always another way, right? Like if something goes wrong, if something doesn't go to plan, and sponsors doesn't work out, or like something goes wrong in an event, there's always, I feel like it's taught me that it's like, it's not over immediately. It's like, okay, there's actually this that we can actually figure out to do differently. That's something we can, and it's like, we can learn that for next time. That's something we can use for next time. I guess. Yeah, there's always a different way. There's always, it's never too late, and it's never just kaput, right? There's always, there's always some other way to figure it out.
Yeah, I love that, and like I think that applies really well with the actual metaphor of said climbing. Yeah.
Yes.
As much as I want to continue with this podcast because it's really, really fun, we'll start to wrap up shortly. Justin, as you're still the current president, do you have anything coming up that any big things that you want to share that's happening for the rest of the year with the club?
Yes, we're going to do Boulder Ball again. I know one of my execs was against it, but I've since convinced him that it's not, because we've actually heard a lot of good feedback, and a lot of people thought it was a really fun event and we want to do it again. So Boulder Ball is going to come up in the end of the year, probably like, what did we do? Like the beginning of December, end of November last year, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, beginning of December.
I hoping there will be Boulder Bash. That is still in talks. That's a story for another day. And also, we are not 100% locked in, but we are going to do a setting event, which is we're going to partner with One Up, and obviously you'll have to pay a fee. I'm not going to tell you what the fee is yet, but let's just say we're pulling out from the club funds and helping make it cheaper. But yes, for people who want to try out bouldering setting, which in Australia, I think it's a bit of an enigma. Is like, how do I get into setting and stuff? So we're partnering with One Up to do an event where some members get to try their hand out, understand about setting boulders, setting the cool climbs you see on the wall, and having a go at making that. So yeah, that's
such a fantastic idea. Wow, that is really cool.
That's cool.
Man, I want to just fly back to Sydney just so I can do that.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
I'll pay the most expensive fare. Yeah. Amazing. And of course, you got your AGM. It's coming up too as well. Well, we'll start to close this out now. Where can we find more about the club?
Instagram
at UTS Boulder Sock at UTS Boulder Sock with how many? No,
fantastic.
And also on
link in the description.
UTS. Yes, Activate UTS, and also find us at on casual climbs every Wednesday. We rotate between 3 different gyms around the city.
In Sydney.
Yes, in Sydney. Yes, that's 9 Degrees, Waterloo, Blockhouse, Merrickville, and also Nomad Handale. Sorry, for those Sydney viewers. And then on Mondays we do every fortnight at Blockhouse, Merrickville, and Alexandria. But yeah. And then we'll do other random events throughout the year too. Sometimes you might get free food.
Are there any advantages for being a club member?
Oh, so many. As a club member, if you guys didn't know, Sydney bouldering is damn expensive. So, if you join the club with our now brand new, this is also one of the cool things about our I think we've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff for Boulder Shock this year, including this sick ass digital tag that we have.
Oh, no way! Is that on the wallet?
Yeah, it's on the Apple Wallet, and some gyms, because they have a barcode, they get this. Their members, their profile is basically saved on there, and then the gyms just have to put on.
That's cool.
That is, I can't believe that's happened, because I remember, I think Toby, when you were president, and we had this random idea, if we could have some sort of passport where you can rock around the gyms with a discount, but then logistically it was just too much, so we didn't even pursue the idea. But that is something that's actually put together. Wow. Well, I'm extremely proud of every single one of you guys. You've taken this club to beyond measures, and definitely was not expecting this when this idea was presented to Jared and Toby and the other guys. So thanks again for giving up your time and being on the podcast today. All your social links and everything will be in the description below. And thanks to the audience for tuning in to the live stream or to the actual to the podcast. And thanks again, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us,
Cam.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you, everyone.